Welcome everyone to another broadcast of Southern Virginia Athletics. Art Furler here with Mike Harmon as we get ready to host the Southern Virginia Knights women's volleyball team against the Salisbury Eagles. Tough contest today, Mike.
Very tough. Salisbury's coming in 3-1 in the conference. Just a very efficient machine. They have a couple of young ladies way over 2 kills a game. They have one at 4.8. That's Katie Stouffer, and then Nicole Vinicelli at 3.13. So a very tough game.
Yeah, the Knights, as we've mentioned previous weeks, also as you're looking at the starting lineups here, you can see there's a lot less players on that line for Southern Virginia as opposed to Salisbury running a bigger squad. Again, I know we talk about it every week, but it has to play such a role. It's
a huge issue, especially when it comes into trying to practice. As you get later into the season, you know, the legs start to get a little tired. So if you're constantly having to go through the practice and the games and no subs, your legs get dead very fast.
Well, we'll see how that affects the Knights today. We're doing starting lineups right now. Mike, why don't you give us the lineups for the Seagulls?
Starting for the Seagulls will be number 2, Katie Stouffer. Number 5, Casey Franz. The libero will be number 10, number 14, Samantha Chubb, number 16, Shannon Russell, and number 20, Kirby Gibbon.
Interestingly enough, this, I believe, will
be Kelly Sukovic, number 11, Rachel Pearson, number 14, Samantha Chubb, number 16, Shannon Russell, and number 20, Kirby Gibbon.
Interestingly enough, this, I believe, will probably be the only team the Knights play all year where they have more seniors than the other team, though. Yeah, Casey Franz, the only senior for the Seagulls.
Yeah, very young team. That bodes well for the Salisbury Seagulls as you want that continuity, and next year they should be a real force. Probably trying to compete with CNU for that top spot.
Absolutely. Starting for the Knights, at libero, number 4, Ofamoa Samfong. Number 5, Melissa Owen. Number 7, Caden Smith. Number 11, Hannah Phillips. Number 12, Allison Teagues. And number 14, Valerie Beatty. About to get underway here. Mike, what do you think of the keys for the game for the Knights?
Well, for the Knights, it's going to be, can they terminate quickly? We know they can go through long rallies, but those long rallies start to wear them down. They played the first set really well, and then as they start to wear down, the other teams seem to sense that and just really push it hard. So terminate early, play the defense, and serve in.
Absolutely. Something we've seen that the Knights do well at times and not well at times. I think from their last match here at home as well, they seem to start strong, they finish strong, but it's that mid-game where they really tend to have some issues as well.
Yeah, well, we've seen them really start strong in the last, especially in the last match. I think they were even up in a couple of the sets, and then found a lull in the play, like you said, in the mid-set area, and just dug a hole too deep to get out of.
Well, the Knights will definitely have to play a strong game today to have a good showing against Salisbury. Some other updates for you for games around Southern Virginia today. We have an update right now. Women's soccer against Penn State Harrisburg trailing 3-0 in the first half. And we'll get some others for you here in a bit. We are underway now. Over in 1. Caught the Knights by surprise that time in the first point over to Salisbury.
Yeah, just when you have that overpass, it's either two things going to happen. Either it's going to come back at you very hard, or usually it'll find the floor.
Service now coming in, Shannon Russell. Over by Owen. Just a little bit wide, though.
And that was the right play. Melissa's just got to try to find the hands a little bit more. Probably not going to be able to punch it through this strong front line of Salisbury.
Service again from Russell. Fong, Beatty, Teagues off the hands of the defenders. Well played, and Southern Virginia finds their first point.
Well, we talked about Teagues being really comfortable on the right-hand side. We see Delaney come in in the back row. Not as comfortable in the back row, but just a phenomenal athlete on the front row.
Hard shot back to Layton. Beatty. Phillips. Back over off the net cord. Kept alive. Beatty. Phillips again. And that one Hard shot down the line. Tough to continue to play off of those sets. You can only survive so many of those.
Well, and then if you give Stouffer that many chances, she's going to find the floor. She's their leading kills percentage. Just a great athlete, and you got to terminate quickly like we talked about earlier.
Libero Kelly Sirkovich now with the service for the Eagles. And that uncharacteristic roll shot into the net by Ofamoa. Knights digging themselves a little bit of a hole here to start this first set. And there's the ace, now going up 5. They got in the back line by Layton to Beatty to Phillips. Hard shot. Touch shot over the top. Oh, and in that case, looked like Owen playing defensively actually hurt the Knights. If she could block it, great. If it would go over, great. But that touch to slow it down really threw off Layton's timing.
Well, plus you had Stouffer there coming so far deep that the timing of the jump had to be a little bit slower than what Melissa did.
That one sent way to the back line, but stays alive, and the ace again. Southern Virginia this season has given up very few aces, and we've seen a couple already today.
Well, Sirkovich here is just doing a great job with her service, really making the ball move.
Over to Beatty, Phillips gets it by, overpass, Owen, well played. Seen some overpasses from the Knights throughout the year. This one going the other way, and the Knights getting to do to Salisbury what's been done to them a bit throughout the year. It's got to feel better going this way. Took that one down the line hard, and it goes up into the ceiling quickly, which pulls it back down quickly as well.
They had Caden Smith check in to play in the middle now. Evans must be out for some reason. We'll have to check into that maybe between some of the sets, but now you got Caden in there, who's usually a setter, playing in the middle.
Evans in warm-ups seemed to not be getting a lot of reps either. And just barely wide. The Knights struggling today, keeping it in bounds.
Well, it looks like Hannah Phillips is sporting a new hairdo, so maybe that's the Sampson issue. She's got it up instead of down like she normally has.
There you go. Pearson service. Touch over the top. Great job by Fong to Beatty. Put down hard by Hoteling, still alive. Blocked at the line. Great job by Phillips to keep it alive to Beatty. Phillips again.
Oh, and went on the outside of the antenna.
Boy, the Knights just very close on some of these, whether it's, in that case, a good shot, but from outside the antenna, some just very close to the line, just lots of things very, very close, but not going the Knights' way so far today.
Well, and you have to give the Seagulls some credit there as all the pressure that they're putting on the defense of the Knights. Just constant pressure, nothing really lobbed over. We've seen maybe 2 roll shots by the Seagulls, and everything else, especially the ones coming from Stouffer, is coming very hard.
They've also really been mixing it up really well. They've had some power. They've had some cross-court plays. They've had, as you mentioned, a couple of roll shots, a couple of taps, really mixing it up, making it tough for the Knights defense to know what's coming at them. Yeah.
Again, though, that's the Knights' forte this year is trying to make sure that nothing hits the ground. We've seen a little bit of indecision, especially like you said on one of the serves. We haven't seen a lot of aces given up by the Knights this year, and a little bit of indecision going on in that back row. I'm sure that's an easy thing to clean up, much more easy than the low numbers that the Knights have.
Absolutely. This 2-10 start, putting the Knights in a hole. They're going to have to start scoring some points here pretty quickly, which starts with breaking the service of setter Rachel Pearson. Taken by Layton. Beatty. Pushed hard by Hoteling. And a healthy serving of Katie Stouffer is really just punishing to the Knights.
She's bringing the heat today.
Well, and frankly, until the Knights can show an answer for it, no reason to go anywhere else.
Well, plus
Layton, Beatty, Phillips found a hole that time. Great job, put it right in Stouffer's chest if it's counterintuitively, I guess if it's right at you, that's kind of the hardest shot to take, right?
That's a hard one, especially when it's right at your chest. You don't know whether to play it with a low pass hands or high pass hands. So
yeah, risking the lift. So the Knights do break the service, touch over the top. Great defense and dig out. Phillips just a little bit low on that one.
Yeah, Hannah wasn't able to get back and get her approach to the net, trying to go flat-footed and just place the shot. Just not enough lift there.
Gina Fischetti coming in for the Seagulls now, and she goes right to the service line. Ho-tailing Beatty over in 2, but the Seagulls ready for it, and right back at them. The Knights really out of sorts so far today, Mike.
Well, they're out of sorts because the Seagulls are being so unpredictable. They're able to go just about anywhere they want, and the setter is really disguising where her sets are going.
Taken by Ho-tailing to Beatty, over by Fong. And right to the outside, this time Shannon Russell.
You know, and right now the Knights are at a distinct disadvantage. Caden Smith is a great player when she's either setting or on the outside. Asking her to go to the middle now and try to go up against these young ladies that are 5'11", 6 foot tall. They're just going right over the top of her. So not having Emma really putting the Knights in a hole.
Ho-tailing to Beatty, short set, taken over by Smith, and caught the Seagulls off guard that time. Great play. The Knights mixing it up a little bit now. And Layton will come out as Allison Teagues check back in. Still 4-14. Knights really needing to string some points together under the service of Hannah Phillips.
Well, now they need to get the ball to Teagues as much as possible.
Roll shot over, but overpassed. Great job by Beatty up at the net. Teagues.
And in the net.
Point to Southern Virginia, and
got number 7, I think, in the net.
Maybe starting to turn around just a little bit.
Well, again, a healthy diet of Allison Teagues in the front line. We could bring the Knights back closer.
And a hard approach, blocked well at the front line of the Knights. That's going to force the roll shot. Beatty with the set. Blocked by Teague, or Teague's shot blocked. Beatty again. Oh, great save, though, by the Seagulls. And the roll shot over. Fong, Beatty, Caden Smith blocked. And a great low shot that time by Teagues, still alive. In the back line, Phillips to Beatty, to Teagues, blocked again. Kept alive by Ho-tailing now, over by Fong, and now an opportunity for the Seagulls to turn it around. And with the help of the net cord, they do just that. Boy, what a rally, though.
Long, long rally. And for the most of the rally, the Knights had the Seagulls back playing defense on their heels. Just that one down ball that we saw come over by Moa Samfong really switched the tables on the Knights.
5-15 now. Service coming from Kirby Given. To Ofamoa. Beatty. Boy, heck of a play that time. Hard shot by Teagues. Way to the back. Phillips saves it to Beatty. Teagues again. Blocked at the line. Boy, the Knights are really struggling to get through this defensive front of the Seagulls, Mike.
Well, and they've done their homework. They understand that Allison Teagues is left-handed, and they've shifted their block a little bit over to take advantage of the antenna and her being left-handed.
Well, somebody may have made their homework easier for him by mentioning it on the broadcast. I'm just saying. Smith hits it over for the Knights. Touch shot, and again, kind of taken at the line. The Knights, everybody, I guess that's what you want. Everybody scrambling and saying, I've got it.
Well, you do, but when we were here coaching, there was one rule and one rule only: do not reach back. Because you have players from the back row coming up to take that. If you reach back, then you're going to throw their timing off. Just a little bit like we saw there. Not blaming anybody on the front row. That's a natural instinct to do that. But a lot of training on not reaching back will really set you up for some more success on those little shots that come right over the top, the little tips or the roll shots.
Well, the Knights definitely needing some assistance at this point. Down 5-17. This is by far the worst start to a set we've seen them really all season, at least here at home.
Well, and they're right in the middle of the Capital Conference season. That means they played so many matches. Again, we talked about tired legs. We talked about some of the issues in another broadcast where the sickness is going around. We know that Hannah Phillips had bronchitis in one match and was just getting over it. So, if you're down in numbers like the Knights are, it's just a real disadvantage to you for the whole season.
Well, and as you mentioned, the distinct, notable absence of Emma Evans. Beatty with the set. Teagues, she was kind of excited for that one.
Yeah, and the set was a little bit lower, so if the Knights really want to take advantage of some of the things that the Seagulls are giving them, they have to lower those sets, get the sets and approaches a little bit quicker. Not only are the Knights missing Emma Evans, but Caitlin Talusik is out having surgery right now this week, so we wish her well and hope that she makes it back quick.
Hey, and there's the ace for the Knights. That'll help pull them back into a little bit. And you also have to wonder if maybe the mental toll of having one of your players in for surgery that weighs on the Knights as well.
Well, I'm sure they're thinking about her. Her thought would be, "Don't think about me. You're the one
absolutely, absolutely." But as the senior leader to this team, you've seen a lot of number 10s written on arms, written on legs this season, and that one really hurts service into the net.
Well, those are the errors that you can control. When the Seagulls are forcing errors, you have to just tip your hats to them, but the Knights can't afford unforced errors today.
Well, certainly not down 11 points now. Casey Franz, as we mentioned earlier, the lone senior for the Seagulls, serving over Phillips to Beatty. Teagues gets it over this time. Not through, but over. And blocked. And that's point over to the Seagulls.
They had to lift there.
Yep.
Unfortunately, got caught on, I think, Valerie Beatty's body, and she just couldn't get it cleanly up.
7-19 now. And that service, a very awkward approach. You could tell it was not what she was looking to do, but
I'm sure she was trying to go short on it. But that's the serve that, as a coach, if you can have someone manufacture that one over and over and over again,
absolutely,
you get a lot of points.
Well, and that's, as we said, the last one cut in her favor. This one right at the net, going back the other way. But that 1-in-1 trade is something the Seagulls can certainly take right now, not something the Knights can.
Yeah, they're content with playing side-out volleyball now. The Knights really have to try to manufacture some points right now.
Service in by Beatty. Nice back set.
Nice slide. There's a nice short slide there. Again, now we're starting to see a team that has very diversified offense. You can't key on anything, and I really like the movement that the Seagulls do on the front row. Everybody looks like they're attacking in different layers at different times, and the Knights can't key on anybody.
8-21 now. Both of the Knights' timeouts already used. And the roll shot over by Ofamoa. Nice play over the top, Hotailing, and over on two. It's a good thought by Melissa Owen, but sniffed out very quickly by the Seagulls defenders.
Yeah, Stouffer was there along with Samantha Chubb, and they're very good at the net.
Hard serve coming over, taken by Hotailing to Beatty to Hotailing. Push to the back. High jumping set right to Phillips. Beatty. Teagues. And gets that one through. So it's great that she got it through, but at the same time, you have to wonder, you don't want to encourage that if it's continuing to be an issue. And sometimes when you find success, it can actually be more difficult. What's the expression? It's hard to coach a winning team.
That's right.
Service now from Layton. Oh, wow. Found quite the angle on that. It was a good shot by Stouffer, but well outside.
Yeah, right now the Knights are not thinking about winning this set. They're trying to find some things that they can be successful with in the next sets against the Seagulls. So they're really probing.
Oh, nice touch over that time. Smart play and the immediate double touch. Difficult not to do that when you're having to react so quickly. 11-22 now. Service from Delaney Layton. High set to the outside and hard shot.
And Stouffer just went over the top of Claire Hotailing, and really there's nothing you can do as a player about that.
Yep.
but that was a thunderous hit.
And service into the net that time. Seagulls helping out a little bit, but the Knights are going to have to capitalize. And that time sent to the back low by Smith. Rolls down the net cord. Hoteling keeps it alive. Beatty. And then great play. Phillips that time right off the top of the hands of the defenders.
And I think that's where the Knights are going to have to go to more often, is trying to play the ball off the high hands. They're not going to be able to punch it through the block, so the high hands is the best option.
Melissa Owens service. Oh, touch shot over that time. Maybe reaching back a little bit.
Yeah, old habits are hard to die. As soon as I saw her do that, my mouth started forming the don't reach back.
Well, and smart play by Stoker as well. Credit there, too. She's just been hammering it so hard. The Knights go up to expecting that, and then the change-up, as it were. Phillips. Beatty. Over to Smith on a little back touch. Back set, hit hard, and you could tell as soon as she reached for that, Leighton realized either A, maybe she shouldn't have gone for it, or B, if so, get a better connection on it. And unfortunately, neither one working out. And that is a quick first set, 25-13, the way of the Seagulls.
Well, let's just hope that the weather outside is cold. It took the Knights a little bit longer to warm up, and they've got their warm-up done now.
It's Saturday. It's still kind of early, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't think Coach Nicole Gwynn would agree with that. She's ready to play at 5 o'clock in the morning, so that's what she demands of her team. And again, there's a lot of stuff that's going on with the Knights so far this year, and it all starts with Nicole coming in 2 days before practice starts. Not a lot of recruiting went on during that summer months. She's had some injuries. She has a short bench now, and it's gotten shorter because M. Evans isn't available. So, you know, she's doing a great job trying to keep them together. I know the girls respect her and look to her leadership, and she's always trying to push them to be the best that they can. Yeah,
a lot of factors playing into the struggles here. And also, let's be honest, the beginning of that set was real bad. But they stuck it out and got better. I believe at one point it was 4-13, and then they almost went point for point after that to round out the set. So maybe there was just that initial shell shock, and the Knights improving along the way. And still, I think I'm still very curious now the situation with Emma Evans. She's been such a force in the front line for the Knights, and her absence has been palpable in this match so far.
Well, in a few seconds when they're out of the huddle, I'll try to sneak over and talk to our trainer and find out what's going on. If she's just sick or if there's an injury there. I know that all the girls have to wear the ankle braces if they're going to be out on the floor playing. Emma doesn't have any ankle braces on tonight, so we're not going to see her.
Yeah, not a good sign then for the Knights.
Hopefully the Knights did learn in that first set, though, what they can do against Salisbury. And I think really that they can take advantage of the high hands that the Seagulls put up there on their blocking. They can be very successful.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it seemed like they developed. They kind of learned that as the set went on. So starting a new set 0-0 perhaps gives them an opportunity to change the result here. In other scores we were mentioned earlier, lots of Southern Virginia athletics going on today. The men's cross country team at the University of Richmond taking 7th place. Women's cross country at the same meet taking 5th. And also women's soccer, as we mentioned, at Penn State Harrisburg now. 38 minutes, I believe, remaining in the second half. Trail 3-0. And also Southern Virginia football at Rowan today, starting at 2 o'clock. Rowan, a very difficult team, kind of, as we've mentioned in previous broadcasts for football, in that upper echelon of the the New Jersey Athletic Conference. We'll have to see how they fare today. So as we get ready to begin our second set here, the Southern Virginia Knights trailing 1-0 against the Seagulls of Salisbury University.
All right, Art, the word from Chad Mahaffey, our head trainer, is Emma's got a nasty ankle contusion.
Ooh.
I put the nasty in there. She's got an ankle problem. We won't see her today, and they're going to reevaluate her on a day-by-day basis.
That is so rough. So you look at the people out there at the beginning lineup for the Knights at the beginning of the game, and now it's an even shorter bench. Caitlin Tlustik out, Emma Evans out. Essentially, the Knights have their starting 6, a libero, and 2 subs.
Yes. Yes.
That makes it tough to practice, much less play.
Very tough, but they'll find some creative ways.
And unfortunately, it starts as the first set ended with hard shots from Katie Stouffer.
Yeah, we see that Coach Gwynn has kind of changed her lineup just a little bit, starting Caden up front instead of Melissa, trying to have a chess match with the Seagulls. Great shot by Tiggs. Oh, but there's Stouffer. Stouffer is just playing out of her head today.
Yeah, powerful contact, just going right down the line. It's so difficult to defend that, especially without your starting or without Emma Evans in the front. Fong to Layton, and then off the hands. Well played that time by Ho-tailing.
Yeah, hopefully we see more of that as we go through the rest of this set. The Knights have been able to play things off of the hands of the Seagulls. So we'll be looking at that the rest of the set.
And there's that changeup again. Katie Stouffer, I think the Knights are reeling from the power that he's been able to hit with. The question then is, do we come back and try to block that, or do you plan for the changeup, because she's mixing it up just when she needs to?
Stouffer has them on a string right now. She's playing just a marvelous game of volleyball. Her athletic ability, you can see when she's able to get a full approach that she is just going head and shoulders above the top of any of our players out there.
Rachel Pearson now at the service line for the Seagulls. Nice back set by Layton. Powerful hit by Ho-tailing. And the Knights sniff that one out from Stouffer. Ho-tailing pushes it over. And they come at it from the other side, over in 1 by Layton. And Stouffer this time with the power finds the floor.
And again, you just see Stouffer going over the top. The Knights have made a little bit of a change in their offensive strategy, bringing Delaney Layton into set. Maybe see a 6-2 situation with the Knights.
Kept alive by Phillips, now over by Ho-tailing. Seagulls react. And that soft touch again.
Well, that was by necessity. The set was behind her. She had to reach back to get it. Great job of not lifting the ball.
Indeed. Phillips, Layton, back set. Tiggs, hard hit. Nice slide. Layton, Phillips.
Oh, that should have been a 2 right there.
Ho-tailing to Layton, and a hard shot by Phillips, but just blocked. This front line of the Seagulls doing work today.
Yeah, they're really finding the ball well, not following the approach, but looking at the ball.
That one, into the net cord, but Phillips adjusts. Nice short set over by Caden. Into the back row. Ofamoa. And calling it there. And a double touch.
Yeah, they got Delaney on that.
Knights really struggling right now. Kelly Sirkovich over in 1. And that one sent long. The Knights.
Yeah, Stouffer wasn't able to bring that one back in. But so far this season, before this match, the Seagulls 116 total blocks, Art. So they're right there with some of the top blocking teams in the conference.
Not unfamiliar territory for them.
No.
Ofamoa Samfong now with the service. And into the net. Unfortunately, that's the second one for her today, and you can tell she's not happy about it.
Well, the Knights have to really just understand they can only control what they can control. They can't control the injuries. They can't control the short bench. They can control their serves, though.
Absolutely. It's like free throws.
Like free throws. And wide open layups.
Speaking of, we'll get to basketball season here pretty soon. As Hoteling sends it over. Or excuse me, Teague sends it over. Oh! And that one off of the new light fixture.
And there you see Coach Gwynn very upset. That's something, again, that the Knights really got to pay attention for.
Gina Fischetti with service for the Seagulls. Into the back line and overpass. Handled well by Layton, though. And great shot over by Hoteling on 2. Still alive. And all of a sudden, the ceiling playing a lot of, playing a big factor right now. And Nicole Gwynn jumping out of her seat, calling the timeout here.
Well, young, fiery coach. She's got a lot of passion for the game, and so she's trying to instill that into these players. The players really have to worry about or fight their natural emotion of disappointment right now. They have to go and say, this is the next point. There's nothing they can do about the first 12 points that have been played. They have to go 1 point at a time. This next one is the one that's important. Focus on it. With no time machine, you can't go back and change anything.
Absolutely. Well, as you mentioned, 2-10, a start similar to the first set, which is not what the Knights were looking for here in the second. We'll have to see, hopefully, a relatively short timeout by Nicole Gwynn, perhaps just one to break up the action a little bit and give him a shot in the arm.
There's not a lot you have to say. When you see your coach jump up like that and run out for a timeout, you know.
A lot's already been said then, just in that. So we'll see now service continuing from Gina Fischetti of the Salisbury Seagulls. Can the Knights break this service? Hoteling, Layton.
Oh, we got a double call there. You know, we see Delaney usually as a back row player, a defensive specialist, pulled up into setting today, and just not a lot of repetitions there.
Service comes in low, Hoteling to Layton, short set. Oh, and overpass.
There's Tiggs.
And overpasses the story for Salisbury have really helped the Knights so far today in several situations. Not something we've seen a lot of throughout the season from Knights opponents, but it's working so far.
Well, you'll take any help you can get right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And it looks like the Knights are going to run a little 6-2. They bring Beatty in, and Beatty with the ace.
Valerie Beatty there, and that's a clean ace. That's not even a misplay. That's straight to the floor.
She serves a nice little floater that if it's just right, it's going to drop quickly.
Nice back set that time, overpassed. Great setup and blocked at the net, but unable to get that second hit.
Well, and that's something that you would hope that you can get to, but from experience, you kind of freeze for a second because you're expecting it to come at you hard, and then it's redirected.
Kirby given to Hoteling to Beatty. And then over by Phillips. Roll shot over. Great job by Beatty to get under it. Phillips sends it over in 2. Back set.
And we're going to have a 2.
Well, the double touch going the way of the Knights this time. So the Knights showing some signs of life. Now 5-12, closing this gap. Going to need to continue to do that if they're going to pull within striking distance of this second set here at home. Ooh, over the net cord by Phillips. Oh, and a hard block. Owen stuffs that one.
Well, if you're the Seagulls, what you have to worry about is complacency. Oh, we got this in the bag. The Knights are going to continue to play no matter what. Whatever the score is, they're going to give it their all because Coach Gwynn really
is going to demand it. Oh, and an ace.
And Hannah Phillips is scoring points at the service line.
The tide starting to turn just a little bit, 7-12. There's a long way to go in this set, but there's a much smaller way to go now to tie this one up. And that one is not going to help. Hard shot. I believe that's Jordan Lawson.
Jordan Lawson down the line, and we're talking within inches of the attack line.
Absolutely. 7-13. That will slow the closing of the Knights. Now Casey Franz at the service line for the Seagulls.
Well, that's the type of service runs that the Knights need now.
Absolutely. Beatty. Hotailing. Don't mind if we do. We'll just side out ourselves a little bit, and the Knights playing with a little bit more swagger perhaps than they were earlier.
Well, they're running this little 6-2. I'm sure maybe it's caught the Seagulls a little bit by surprise. They'll have to make some adjustments.
And Owen's service, unfortunately, sending it right back over to the Seagulls. And that's the thing, especially from a mental standpoint, as you're starting to close that gap, you cannot afford to take that momentum away and give it back.
No, and again, those are things that you can control.
And
hey, but the Seagulls give it right back.
Thank you kindly. 9-14 now.
Yeah, Shannon Russell went and just sailed it out of bounds there. Now we get to see Teagues up on the front row along with Hannah Phillips. She's going to move over to the right-hand side.
And point to Southern Virginia on the double hit again. Boy, there have just been several matches this season, Mike, where we've seen a lot of this.
Well, it has to do with the first pass that they received.
Hard push to the back line. Ofamoa gets underneath it to Layton. Hotailing off the hands of the defenders. Still into the back line. Touched over the top. And just a one-on-one match that time between Katie Stouffer and Allison Teagues. I have to imagine that's a tough way.
That's a good match, though. I'd really like to see that match as it develops over not only the rest of this match, but maybe next season also, as Stouffer's going to be a junior. But with Teagues over on that right side, I think that's where they really can take advantage of her. They're going to have great passes so they can make the back sets to her.
Yeah, Hotailing that time just low on the hit. The lead now 6. And so some screaming from the Knight bench that it was in to play it. The Knights decide alternatively not to, and it works. It's a good call. Claire Hotailing now serving for the Knights. Oh, mishandled. That was kind of an awkward first hit that time by Casey Franz, the senior. And the lead closing again, 12-16. Claire Hotailing wanting to get comfortable back there. And unable to do it with that service error. Is that the kind of thing that frustrates you as a coach?
Very frustrating as a coach, because you manufacture the point off of your defense. You're hoping to let them relax a little bit and attack and sell it out of bounds. Oh.
Fong to Layton to Phillips. Just the push over the top. Good job by Hotailing to get under it. To Layton again. Teagues, but that way out, trying to play clearly over that front line, but just.
And she got caught way up underneath the set.
Yep.
Delaney had to set it to her with an underhand pass, and those are really hard to do.
Short serve, Phillips. Handled well by Layton, and Teagues. It's a good job by Rachel Pearson to get underneath it, but kind of an awkward hit.
And you've got to be impressed with Coach Gwynn being able to work her lineup around so they can get Teagues over on the right-hand side, especially with Phillips up front, too. Great attacking combination there.
Absolutely. Caden Smith now. Looked like it might have been an ace, but not so. Set that time over. Oh, great play by Tlustik. Hotailing.
Yeah, a little bit better play right there by Stouffer. And that's what you want. You want an outside hitter that is going to terminate for you. When the Knights get that in the recruiting efforts next year, this team will take a huge jump up.
Absolutely. We look forward to that, but right now can't be Can't get too far ahead of ourselves. Colleen White checking in for the Seagulls. And Gina Fischetti, who's had a lot of success serving today for the Seagulls, starting again. Hotailing, Layton, Teagues. Better hit that time. Still alive. Hard shot to the back by Phillips. Off the hands of the defenders. Great job getting underneath that by Hotailing. Phillips sends it over. Still alive. What a great save by Hannah Phillips. Hotailing puts it over. The touch, and oh, just too much at the end, but my goodness. I thought that was going to end up in my lap, but what a play.
That's Hannah Phillips not giving up. That's why the crowd loved her last year. They love her this year for it. She is a volleyball player.
Boy, just tracking it with her eyes, knowing where it was going to go. Wow.
Well, then it got redirected twice again.
Yeah, absolutely. Fong sends it over, but too far over. The lead now back to 8, and timeout taken by Coach Gwynn. Boy, that was a moment in time where that could have changed, though, because if that, in my opinion, if that thing gets saved and the Knights get that point, what a shift in momentum.
Oh, it's an automatic drop on the Seagull side. I mean, that's just a natural reaction. Oh, my gosh, what are we going to do? On the Knights,
she could play it off the ceiling. How do we beat that?
And it got stuck inside one of the braces.
Right.
And we got redirected there. So it was a major shot that in the arm with Hannah Phillips coming over and picking that ball up.
Yeah, just crazy. Boy, what an effort by Phillips. What a hustle play by her. You love to see that they're still fighting despite being down. They're going to need some of that to close out this second set here. Well,
I don't know who the video coordinator is for the volleyball team, but they need to find that play to put it in their end of season highlights.
Absolutely. Gina Fischetti done a lot of work at the service line, but sends this one out of bounds. Good timeout.
Now let's see if Valerie Beatty can keep service for a little while. We don't want to just play side-out volleyball with the Seagulls. Got to get 2 or 3 points for every 1 point that the Seagulls get.
Valerie Beatty now. And starts with the ace.
And again, just that nice little float serve. And when it floats like that, depending on where the nozzle is, that's the way it's going to go as soon as it gets over the top of the net. And obviously the nozzle was down, went straight to the ground.
Sends that one the opposite corner. Hard shot, still alive. Ofumoa and Phillips sends it far side, but out of bounds.
Well, when Hannah's not able to really come in on her approach, her percentage goes down. She's just trying to play defensively there. That was the only real shot she had without going into the hands.
Beatty. Phillips off the hands of the defenders. And coming back, but able to keep it in bounds is Salisbury. Now looking to close 23-15.
You can just see some of the disparity in heights from the Seagulls to the Knights. Their front lines are all about 5'11" to 6'1".
Oh, over and 2, smart play. That was some trickery there. You like to see that.
Oh, and the cheerleader in Allison Teagues came out on that too. I thought she was going to go out on the floor and do a split, but very, very rambunctious on the sideline.
Hannah Phillips over with the help of the net cord. Just touched over. Great save by Beatty to Layton. Kind of an awkward hit, but gets it over by Claire Hotailing. Hard shot. And a hustle play on that by Fong to get underneath it. But now facing set point, 24-16. Casey Franz, senior defensive specialist for the Seagulls, to serve. Great job by Fong to play up for that. Beatty and Owen puts it down. A little bit of an overpass. still alive. Oh, and good thought that time. Melissa Owen saw the empty back corner, thought it'd be a good place to play it, but unfortunately just couldn't get it where she needed it to. 25-16, showing a bit of progress. The Knights over the first set, not just in score, but really an overall performance in the way they played it. Looking better that time.
But didn't give up the long stretches of points, except at the very beginning where they went down 1-4, 1-5. But after that, really, like you said, played very smart. Made the Seagulls earn it for the most part, and you got to give it to the Seagulls, especially that young lady on the outside, Katie Stouffer. She is just really finding the floor with a lot of regularity. Yeah, the Knights really unable to find an answer for her so far today. It's been difficult, and again, you like to see the Knights improving a bit of that second set. As you mentioned, not giving up the long stretches, but also able to put together one of their own. Yeah. The Knights are doing everything they can. I think switching to that 6-2 was really good for the Knights, getting especially Allison Teagues over on the right-hand side. Now they just have to be able to pass the ball a little bit better off the defensive transition so they can take advantage of her on that right side, and she'll be able to provide a lot of power. Yeah, I believe at one point the Knights closed to within about 5. Then 6 at 13-19 when that crazy play with Hannah Phillips not giving up on the play. And really from there, unfortunately, went back the way of the Seagulls and then able to close on a 6-3 run. Well, here's some unofficial stats so far in this match. You got Allison Teagues leading the Knights with 4 kills. Then we have Melissa Owen, Claire Hotelin, and Hannah Phillips with 2 apiece. On the other hand, over on Salisbury's side, we have Katie Stouffer leading with 11 kills. Jordan Lawson and Shannon Russell with 5 apiece. So you can see how they're terminating very quickly. The Knights want to try to drag it out, but again, the catch-22 situation there, you drag it out, it gets into their legs, and especially in this third set, we'll see how they play it with a little bit of tired legs. Well, that definitely plays a role, and you have to look at their future schedule as well and say, obviously, you never want to give up, you never want to say die, but a wise coach once told me you either want to win in 3 or lose in 3. Well, if you have a chance to win, you don't matter if you go to 5. Sure. No, I agree with you. You want to, if you can instill that in your players, just to win in 3. You don't ever want to talk about losing in 3, but if you can instill that mentality, we want to win in 3, win in 3, win in 3. That puts just all the emphasis on we've got to win these points as we go through. So it looks like the Knights again will start out in that little 6-2 configuration. We'll have Kaden Smith up front, Melissa Owen coming in, the rotation as she gets to the front from Moa, and looks like Allison Teagues will start on the outside here, but as soon as Hannah Phillips rotates to the front row, she'll be over on the right side. Well, the Knights fared well that way in the second set when they were in it, so sticking to their strengths. Shannon Russell now will start off serving for the Salisbury Seagulls as we start the third set. The Knights trailing 2-0. Fong over to Layton. Hard shot by Teagues. Great block by Teagues on the other end. Well, that's that matchup we're interested in seeing how it develops. Overpass that time, kept alive by Fong, and just Layton frustrated by that one, just didn't get a good hit on it. Well, there's Teagues being able to physically match up with Stouffer, and like I said, not only for the rest of this match, but how is that going to develop next year too when Stouffer's a senior? Absolutely. And that one sent long, but touched. Point to Southern Virginia off the hit from Teagues. Yeah, I think that was Samantha Chubb that got the ball. Opportunity for the Knights now to have their first lead of the day. Oh, great play over in 1. Phillips hits it over. And the overpass hit down by Teagues. Dug out by Hotailing to Layton. Back set Teagues again. Block kept alive. Great play by Hotailing. Fong keeps it alive. Phillips, and just barely long the point over to Salisbury. Again, see a lot of defensive play go on there for the Knights. Their defense is what keeps them in the game. if they can find the offense to ever catch up with it, man, it'd be a great team to watch.
Kelly Sirkovich now for the Seagulls. Phillips to Layton. Great job by Teagues to keep it in. Oh, and the play from the floor by the Seagulls. Layton, Caden Smith, another great save.
Yeah, I don't think Hannah Phillips saw her there on the floor.
Yeah, tried to put it right back down, but a great job keeping it alive for the moment. But now the Knights 2-2, showing a lot of fight this time. And there's that approach by Katie Stouffer, just hard hitting.
And if I were Allison Teagues, I think I'd be keying on Stouffer. They're not really trying to go to the middle too much when she's in there. Let's take Stouffer away and see who else out on the floor can really beat us. Absolutely.
Certainly it's been Stouffer so far today. Hoteling, Layton, oh, and just missed time.
And you can see not a lot of repetitions with Delaney Layton out there as setter. Some of the connections just aren't as crisp and clean as we see sometimes with Valerie Beatty.
Yep. Hoteling to Owen. Phillips with a soft touch. Not so soft on the touch is Katie Stouffer. And touched by the Knights point, 5-2 now, the Seagulls. In other action as well, the Knights women's soccer team at Penn State Harrisburg now 11 minutes left, down 6-0. Phillips, Layton, Teagues, boy, she had such an approach on that.
And that's what you want to see. If you can give her a set where she can make the approach from outside the lines and behind the attack line, she's got a lot of power.
Yeah, she came very hard on that. And as you mentioned, put a lot of power behind it and able to get the point as a result. Nice floater over the top. Something we've talked about Beatty today, and that one off the net cord. Point to the Knights.
Also another action today, we don't talk about cross country very much, but the men came in 7th in their race and the women came in 5th. So congratulations to the cross country team.
Beatty with that float serve keeps it over in 1. Oh, and there's great job by Owen to get it over after that roughly timed connection again. Oh, and the roof is put on.
Delaney Layton got up for a block assist there.
That is a 5'5" Delaney Layton. Now obviously helped out a bit by 6'2" Melissa Owen, but that's impressive. And the Knights signs of life now at 5 apiece. Beatty's still at the service line. Not on the floater this time.
Oh, and that's a very scary feeling for Valerie Beatty. As you see someone with Stouffer's ability going over the top of your 5'5" setter, bringing it down the line.
Yep.
You're hung out to dry.
Gina Fischetti, I think so far the most successful server for the Seagulls today. To Phillips, to Beatty, back to Phillips, and just barely outside.
And Phillips tried to return the favor there going down the line.
Yep. Boy, the Knights have just had so many close calls, though, but unable to keep it in bounds. Really just off on their aim just a hair. Hoteling. Oh, the short set that time by Beatty to Owen. Great job getting underneath it again by Beatty, and unfortunate double touch, just slightly timed, because otherwise that was pretty well sealed by the Knights.
Yeah, I've seen worse today that wasn't called.
Which is odd, because we've seen a whole lot that have been. Ofamoa now back in to Beatty, and airmails it.
Hey, we got it in the net, though.
We'll take it. Delaney Layton, just a hair long, but point anyway, as we catch a Seagull player in the net. Seagulls don't normally get caught in nets, do they?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Phillips with the service. Hard hit. Finds the floor.
But at 6-9, this is what we expected in the first set.
Still pretty manageable. Ofamoa, Beatty. Played over by Hotailing. And just kind of in that no man's land right at the edge of the net. And the Knights the benefactors of that one.
Yeah, you really have to try to reach out and try to punch it over, or else you get into the net. So, like you said, no man's land. That's not where a hitter likes to see the ball.
Opportunity back for the Knights again. Ofamoa Samfong serving. Gets it over. Struggled a bit with that today, but a good serve this time. And a good block there at the net by Hotailing, but
yeah, Larson was able to play it off the hands out of bounds.
Still 7-10, pretty manageable. Certainly compared to some of the other sets so far today. And the Knights with some rough starts. This one looking much better. Phillips, Beatty. Oh, great touch over by Smith. And that's point to the Knights. But again, that effort, Delaney Layton just jumping, stretching with every eighth of an inch she could get up there. What a tough assignment for her. She's shown a lot of heart today. Serving now as well.
And a 2 called.
Boy, there's been a couple of games or matches this season where this 2 call has been popular. I don't know that there's been any more so than today, though.
Well, the rules have allowed for a lot of laxity for setters. And because of that, nice play out of the net.
Very good play.
But outside because they're letting the setters get away with so much more, the setters aren't really working as hard as they have in the past to make sure that all their touches are so clean.
Shannon Russell now serving for the Seagulls. The lead is 2. Knights wanting to close. Fong. And kind of an awkward hit on that by Teagues. Just punched over. Chance for the Knights now. Hotailing has it blocked right in her face. Alexis Howitt and Samantha Chubb teaming up for that one. Hotailing, Layton, Smith. That short set, but it goes long. Point to the Knights.
And if you're going to use that little one set, the ball has to be closer to the net so the middle blocker can get up and snap down on it instead of reach back.
Hotailing service, just barely long again. Man, I've said it so many times today, but there's just been so many close calls that for the most part have gone the way of the Seagulls, and a few of those go the other way, and it could be a very, very different match right now. Phillips, Layton, Teagues with authority.
And that's where Teagues is at her best, right there. Again, great adjustment by Coach Quinn. We've seen in the past, we've talked about it, get her over on the right-hand side, get Teagues over on the right-hand side. Today, she's made that adjustment, and the dividends are being paid.
Caden Smith now at the service line. High set to the outside, and wow, what a steep angle on that. Katie Stouffer, that was just straight down.
Well, that's when volleyball becomes fun if you're the hitter.
Lead now is 3. Hotailing makes a smart call, gets out of the way, and this has been a 2- and 3-point set almost the whole way through. It'd be a big moral victory, if nothing else, if the Knights could close this and take a lead. I do not believe they have led any set so far today against this tough Salisbury opponent.
You're correct in that assumption.
Beatty. Owen. Hard block on Kirby Given. That's her second today. Just Nothing to be done about that. Straight into the hands, trying to go through, and not going to happen. The Knights with the opportunity to tie on the service from Beatty. And quite short on that one.
A little bit too short.
And Gina Fischetti checks back in. Again, a lot of success from her at the service line today. The Knights would love to keep this a very, very short service. Phillips, Beatty, Owen. Fong. And Phillips with the roll shot over. Still alive. Touch shot. Something we haven't seen from a little while. I think the Seagulls were really trying to go power volleyball for the last while. It got away from what helped them be successful in the first and second set, which is that changeup.
Yeah, that's a smart read on that part. Players playing in the back row had some knee injuries. Not as quick and nimble as she was a couple years ago.
Fong to Beatty to Phillips with the push. Oh, great job that time again. Melissa Owen really has been relatively quiet this season as far as blocks in the front row, but not so quiet today.
Starting to come around today, and no better time than the present.
Hannah Phillips now serving for the Knights. Kind of a sinker. Touch over, great job by Owen. And that's 4, I was gonna say. I'm no math guy, but I'm pretty sure that was 4 hits on that one. 15-16, the Knights again showing signs of life here in this third set. The opportunity to tie on the service of Hannah Phillips. Boy, I should just stop saying that.
You know, they say that there's no such thing as a curse.
Yeah.
But every time either you or I open our mouth about something, that happens.
Taken by Phillips to Beatty. On the slide is Owen. Taken by Phillips to Beatty. On the slide is Owen. And that one blocked, but not effectively enough to keep it on the other side.
Yeah,
but again, it's Delaney Layton.
Yeah, a little bit late, though, there to close it down. But, you know, now we're going to expect all that from Delaney because we saw her get up to the block. So,
yeah.
Delaney, you have to get there. Close the block down.
Yeah, well, and it's, you know, for those not as familiar, maybe this is essentially like a point guard trying to be a rim protector in basketball. Most of the time, it's having a running back or a, you know, particularly tailback slide in and try to play lineman. It's just not a typical. It's not typically in your assignment. I know it's a lot more difficult perhaps on a volleyball team. They're more spread out. You don't see that height comparison as much, but it plays such a factor.
It's a huge factor, especially with Delaney right now coming in, setting today. Last time we saw her, she was in a defensive specialist role like she has been for the earlier part of the season. So now she's not only setting, but now she has to block.
Yeah,
and most setters, Valerie Beatty's about the same size. She has to be up when she's on the front line. She has to block, and most setters are okay with that. But Delaney, you know, my gosh, I got to do this and this and this and this now instead of just back on the back row playing.
Yeah, we've got a shot right now. Just look at that comparison here in a second of Delaney Layton here in the front row. There are players from the Seagulls bending over that are not that are still taller than Layton there. So just what a heroic effort by her to step into that role and do whatever this team needs her to do.
Well, and if you ask any of the players, it doesn't matter what role they're given as long as they're out there on the floor.
Absolutely. A lot of opportunities for that for sure. Fong's service. And kind of an awkward second hit will play point to the Knights, 17-18. This 2 to 3 point gap now down to 1. But they've got to close it soon as we approach that magic number of 25. Good serve by Fong. And it goes out. The Knights have tied it up, and big ups to Ofamoa, who struggled early in the first couple of sets with service, put a couple in the net, but it seems to have cleaned that up. I'm testing the commentator's curse here, I guess, but really going on a string now right when the Knights really need it. Good set.
And again, the Salisbury Eagles seeing Delaney Layton up front. That's where they're going to attack, is trying to go get her.
Bringing Casey Franz back in for the Seagulls. So the point goes to Salisbury, but it wasn't the curse.
Wasn't the curse.
Played up high by Phillips to Beatty. Smith off the hands of the defenders, and that'll work. Getting the job done and keeping the Knights in this one, 19-19. Allison Teagues coming back in. Great save that time by Fong to Layton. And
played the hands.
Claire Hotailing, good job.
And there the Knights take the lead for the first time.
And we have, that's a timeout taken by Salisbury, their first one of the day. That's got to bode well and give you a shot of confidence if you're the Knights as well.
Well, instead of winning 3 or losing 3, how about win the last 3?
Yeah, there you go. And then if you win in 3, those 3 are the last 3. We do have a final score for women's soccer. They do go down to Penn State Harrisburg 8-0. Difficult loss for them today. We wish the men's team best of luck. They should be starting here relatively soon against the men of Penn State Harrisburg as well. Well, Mike, you're now up 1 point. 5 points to again, that magic number of 25. The lowest number you can win with. Certainly, I don't believe there is a highest number.
No, it'll play till you win by 2.
We'll see if the Knights are able to do that. Now Delaney Layton serving for the Knights. Getting the all-important serve over. The net cord helping the Knights a bit to Fong. And that looks like off the hands of defenders, and it is. Claire Hotailing, the Knights now up 2. Don't call it a comeback. Okay, call it a comeback. Let's be realistic. 21-19 after a couple of very difficult sets. Layton's service continuing. Great job by Teagues on that second hop.
Oh, they got someone in the net. Oh, yeah. Allison is in the net.
Point over to the Seagulls, but still advantage to the Knights. Shannon Russell, who's been very involved the last several rallies for the Seagulls, now serving. Hotailing, Layton, Caden Smith, good adjustment on the timing. And right when the Knights need it, Katie Stouffer delivering.
Yeah, unfortunately, she rotated back into the front row now. The Knights really want to try to close down on that side. Allison's going to have to do some blocking big time.
Fong, Layton, Teagues. Good adjustment, but Phillips keeps it alive to Fong. Oh, and just a little light on that is Claire Hotailing. And that's a timeout taken by Southern Virginia, 21-22 now. The referee.
A lot of new people in the lineup in new places, and Caden Smith has to really try to get over it and close that block down on Stouffer. Allison's setting a good hard edge for it, funneling her down the cross court. If Caden can get over and get her hands right beside Allison, we should be able to see a block.
Well, the Knights could certainly use some of those now. By far the closest set of the 3, though. The Knights with an opportunity to perhaps win this third set, or at least have a much more, a much closer effort here. Either one they'd appreciate, but obviously the win of the set would be better.
The win of the set would be great. I think, though, if Coach Glenn looks back on it, it took the first 2 sets for the Knights to get used to this 6-2. Even when Emma Evans comes back, I'm hoping that they continue with this 6-2 because, again, Allison Teagues over on the right-hand side just gives you so much more options. I think she feels a whole lot better there, and she'll be able to rack up some more kills.
Job 1, break the service of Shannon Russell. That is not going to do it.
And that's the rust of the inexperience of Delaney Layton as a setter. Ball was way too far back. She should have just passed it up underhand.
And that's quick service coming back. Hoteling able to get underneath it to Layton, to Teagues. And she goes wide. And now set and match point available to the Seagulls. Shannon Russell. Fong. Layton. Teagues. And it is not done yet, folks.
She extends it a little bit.
22-24. The Knights need to put at least 2 points together, though, to extend this match. Hoteling service. Not what the Knights wanted to see. A great effort to get underneath that by Fong. But appropriate, I think, in a lot of ways that ends on Katie Stouffer just doing work on that left-hand side.
Oh, she's been doing a lot of work all day long. And whenever they needed her, she was there. Even when they didn't need her, she was there. Unofficially, Stouffer was 17 kills, only 2 errors for a .469 hitting percentage.
Yeah, I guess that's all right.
Oh, the goal when I was coaching was if we can get hitters over 300, we're doing good. So 333 is what our goal was. .469, fantastic.
Yeah, great effort by the Seagulls today. They do close out the Knights in 3 sets. That one 25-22. Certainly the closest. Good to see the Knights adapting and closing out there a bit better in the 3rd set. But they do go down 3-0. Mike, where do you go from here if you're the Knights? Do we have any estimation on Evans' return at this point? I assume not.
No estimations on the return. Again, day by day, they reevaluate her every day. She's going into the training room for a lot of therapy, so it'll just be whenever she's able to put the pressure on it and especially cut. So they have the protocols that they have to go through to make sure that she's able to get out and not hurt herself anymore. Where do the Knights go? Well, stick with the 6-2. The rest of the season, see how things are going to shake out, and then maybe put that in play for the next season also coming up. Allison Teagues, great job on the right side. She's going to be able to be physical enough and use her talents to do a lot of blocking on that side.
Yeah, the Knights definitely with some elements to work with. They do have a strong base, but there's only so much you can do when you don't have that many players.
Yeah, and Coach Gwynn, she understands that. She's doing everything she can. Again, I don't know when the thought in her mind came to go to the 6-2 and put Phillips and Teagues on the same line. I think it's fantastic. She's doing everything she can. The players are doing everything she can. That last set is what we were looking for the whole match. A lot of defense, being able to terminate some on the offensive side. Again, it's a growing process.
Well, in any case, the Knights do fall to the Salisbury Seagulls in women's volleyball today, 3-0. Best of luck for Emma Evans' return, Caitlin Tlustik with her surgery as well, and with all the other programs in action today, men's soccer getting started at Penn State Harrisburg, and football at Rowan, where they're playing right now. For the entire broadcast crew and Mike Harmon, I'm Art Furler. Everybody have a good day.